You think they see you, but they only see what they want to see. A shadow of who you used to be. A story they tell themselves to feel superior. They look at you and think they know your limits, think they can define your boundaries. How pathetically wrong they are. You see, while they were busy writing your obituary, you were being forged in fires they couldn't even imagine. They love to whisper, don't they? Behind their pristine desks and polished smiles, they talk about how you failed, how you crashed, how you burned. But what they don't understand, what they'll never comprehend, is that you're not burning. You're evolving. Every scar they gave you, every door they slammed in your face, every time they said, "You're not good enough," it's all becoming fuel for a fire they can't comprehend. You've tasted the bitter ash of defeat, felt the cold grip of betrayal, and that's what makes you dangerous. While they were born into their power, handed their success on silver platters, you had to earn every single breath, every step forward. You learned to thrive in places that would make them shiver, found strength in solitude where they would crumble. That's the difference between you and them. They play at being strong, but you've become strength itself. Their comfortable towers of success, their little kingdoms built on shallow foundations. They think these make them untouchable, but you know better, don't you? You've seen how quickly those towers can fall, how easily those kingdoms can crumble. Because when you've been dragged through hell, when you've had everything stripped away, you learn what true power really is. It's not in their fancy titles or their expensive suits. It's in the fire that burns inside you, the one they thought they could extinguish. Listen closely to the sound of their laughter, their mocking words, their dismissive tones. Each one is another brick in the monument of your revenge, another spark in the inferno of your resurrection. They think they're witnessing your downfall, but they're actually watching the rise of something they can't control, something that feeds on their doubt and grows stronger with every attempt to suppress it. The beautiful irony is that they gave you this power. Every rejection, every humiliation, every time they celebrated your defeats, they were unknowingly contributing to the creation of their worst nightmare. When you've lost everything, when you've been stripped bare of all pretense and pride, that's when you discover what you're truly capable of. That's when you realize that their rules, their limitations, they're all just illusions designed to keep you in your place. Watch how they react when you walk into a room now. See how their confident smiles falter just slightly, how their laughter dies in their throats. They can feel it, even if they don't understand it yet. That's the thing about true power. It doesn't need to announce itself. It seeps into their consciousness like a slow-acting poison, making them question everything they thought they knew about strength. They never understood that breaking you wasn't their victory. It was their biggest mistake. Because from those broken pieces emerged something far more lethal than they could have imagined. You're not just putting yourself back together. You're reconstructing yourself into something that doesn't play by their rules anymore. Something that doesn't seek their approval or fear their judgment. The game has changed, but they're still playing by the old rules. They think they can predict your next move based on who you used to be. But that version of you, the one they thought they knew, it died in the darkness they created. What emerged is something else entirely, a force they can't comprehend, a power they can't control, a nightmare they can't wake up from. They'll see it soon enough. The shift in the atmosphere when you enter their space, the way their certainty crumbles in the face of your resolve. That's what happens when you push someone past their breaking point, only to discover that breaking was exactly what they needed. You're not just making a comeback, you're becoming the thing they feared you might be all along. Every obstacle they threw in your path, every time they said impossible, every doubt they planted, it's all coming back to haunt them. They're about to learn that the real danger isn't in breaking someone. It's in giving them a reason to rebuild themselves into something far more formidable than before. You're not just rising, you're becoming their reckoning. Watch how they scramble now, trying to maintain their grip on the power they thought was permanent. See how they try to dismiss your rise as temporary, as luck, as anything but what it really is, the inevitable result of their own arrogance. They created this version of you, forged you in the fires of their contempt. And now they get to watch as their creation becomes their destruction. You're the embodiment of every nightmare they ever had about losing control, about someone rising from the ashes they created. Every step you take forward is a reminder of their biggest mistake, underestimating the power of someone who has nothing left to lose. They thought they were writing your end, but they were just setting the stage for your greatest performance. The whispers are changing now, aren't they? The fear in their voices poorly masked by false bravado. They can feel the ground shifting beneath their feet, sense the change in the wind. That's the power you hold now, the ability to make them question everything they thought they knew about strength, about power, about control. You're not just making a comeback. You're rewriting the rules of the game itself. Look around you at the empire they built, the walls they raised, thinking they could keep you out. Those walls that once seemed so imposing, so unbreakable, they're nothing but paper to the fire that burns within you now. Every brick they laid, thinking it would contain you, has become another step in your ascension. You're not just climbing anymore. You're rising with the force of every doubt they ever cast upon you. They still don't understand what they've created. In their arrogance, they thought they could define your limits, draw lines around your potential, and say, this far, no further. But you've learned something they never will. True power doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't conform to their boundaries or bow to their expectations. You're becoming something that exists beyond their understanding, beyond their control, beyond their wildest fears. Remember how they used to look at you? Those condescending smiles, those dismissive glances, the way they talked about you like you were already finished. Every word they spoke was meant to be your epitaph, but instead, it became the fuel for your resurrection. You took their poison and turned it into medicine, transformed their attempts to destroy you into the very thing that made you indestructible. They think strength is about never falling, about maintaining their perfect facade. But you know better. You've learned that true strength is found in the getting up, in the rising when everything inside you screams to stay down. Each time you rose, you came back different, harder, sharper, more determined. They thought they were witnessing your defeat, but they were actually watching your evolution. The darkness they tried to trap you in, that's become your kingdom now. While they need their spotlights and stages to feel powerful, you've learned to thrive in the shadows they cast. You've made peace with the darkness they thought would break you, turned it into armor they can't penetrate. Every shadow they threw over you has become another layer of your strength, another aspect of your power. Watch them closely now. See how they shift uncomfortably when you enter a room, how their confident masks slip just slightly. They can sense the change in you, feel the power radiating from your very presence. That's what happens when someone transcends their boundaries, breaks free from the cage of expectations others built around them. You're not just different, you're dangerous in a way they never anticipated. They wanted to write your story, didn't they? Wanted to cast you as the cautionary tale, the example of what happens to those who dare to challenge their authority. But they forgot something crucial. Every great story needs its monster, and they just created theirs. You're the nightmare that crawls out of the darkness they thought would consume you, the beast that rises from the pit they dug to bury you. Look at your hands now. See the scars they gave you, the marks of every battle they forced you to fight alone. But these aren't signs of weakness anymore. They're proof of your invincibility. Every scar tells a story of survival. Every mark is evidence of a battle that tried to break you, but only made you stronger. You're not just surviving anymore. You're becoming the thing they see in their nightmares. Their greatest mistake was thinking they could control the outcome, that they could break you down and ensure you stayed broken. They never considered that some things, when broken, don't just heal, they regenerate into something far more powerful. You're not piecing yourself back together according to their design. You're reconstructing yourself into something that defies their understanding. Feel the power coursing through your veins now, the strength that comes from knowing you've survived everything they threw at you. They thought pain would be your undoing, but it became your teacher. Isolation was supposed to be your prison, but it became your fortress. Every weapon they used against you has been transformed into another tool in your arsenal. The whispers are changing now, aren't they? The tone of their gossip shifting from mockery to concern. They're starting to realize that the game has changed, that the rules they thought they wrote in stone are being rewritten by your very existence. You're not just making a comeback. You're changing the very definition of what it means to rise. They'll try to rationalize it, of course. Try to explain away your transformation as luck or coincidence. But deep down, in the quiet moments when their masks fall away, they know the truth. They know they created something they can't control, unleashed a force they can't contain. You're the embodiment of their worst fear, someone who refused to stay down, who turned their attempts at destruction into fuel for rebirth. See how they try to reinforce their walls, not realizing that you've already become the storm that no wall can withstand. Their foundations are shaking, their certainties crumbling, and it's all because they made the mistake of thinking they could extinguish your fire. You're not just reclaiming your space anymore. You're expanding beyond every boundary they ever set for you. Every step you take shatters another of their illusions, breaks another of their rules. You're becoming living proof that their power was always built on sand, that their control was nothing but an illusion they told themselves to feel secure. The beautiful chaos of your transformation is just beginning. They thought they knew what power looked like. thought they had it all figured out. But you're showing them something new, something that doesn't fit into their neat categories and controlled scenarios. You're becoming the force that rewrites their understanding of what's possible, what's achievable, what's unstoppable. Let them watch. Let them witness as you rise, not according to their timeline, not within their comfortable boundaries, but with the unstoppable force of nature itself. You're not just making a comeback. You're becoming the thing they never saw coming, the storm they created, the fire they fueled, the force they can never control. The moment they've been dreading is almost here. You can taste it in the air, that electric tension, that growing realization that their time at the top is coming to an end. Every step you take toward them now carries the weight of every battle they forced you to fight, every scar they carved into your soul. But here's what makes them truly afraid. You're not just surviving anymore, you're thriving in the chaos they created. Look into their eyes now. See that flicker of recognition, that moment when they realize exactly what they've done. They thought they were clever, didn't they? Thought they could play their little games of power and control without consequences. But they never understood the fundamental rule of the universe. When you push someone past their breaking point, you don't get to choose what emerges from the wreckage. You've become something beyond their comprehension, haven't you? A force that doesn't operate within their carefully constructed systems of control. Every time they try to put you back in your box, you shatter it. Every label they try to stick on you burns away in the heat of your transformation. You're not just defying their expectations anymore. You're destroying the very concept of limits they tried to impose on you. The whispers in their hallways have changed tone now. Where once they spoke of your downfall with smug satisfaction, now there's a tremor in their voices, a hesitation in their step. They're starting to understand that they didn't just fail to destroy you. They accidentally created their own nemesis. Every mockery, every betrayal, every attempt to dim your light has only added fuel to the inferno you've become. Watch how they try to maintain their composure as their carefully built world starts to crumble around them. See how they clutch at their positions of power, their hollow achievements, their meaningless titles. They're beginning to realize that all their supposed strength was nothing but a facade, a paper shield against the storm they never saw coming. And you are that storm. Remember when they thought they had written your final chapter? When they celebrated your supposed defeat with their champagne and their shallow laughter? Now they're watching in horror as you rewrite the entire story. You're not just adding new chapters. You're burning their whole book and writing a new epic with the ashes. Every word is written in the ink of their arrogance. Every page turned by the winds of your revenge. The beautiful irony is that they gave you this gift. Every time they pushed you down, they were actually teaching you how to rise with twice the force. Every door they slammed in your face became another wall you learned to break through. They thought they were designing your prison, but instead, they were building your launch pad. Now look at you, soaring past every ceiling they tried to put over your head. Feel the power coursing through your veins now. It's different from their kind of power, isn't it? Theirs is borrowed, dependent on titles and positions and the approval of others. But yours is forged in fire, tempered by pain, and hardened by every battle they forced you to fight alone. It's the kind of power that doesn't need validation, doesn't seek permission, doesn't bow to their rules or bend to their will. They're going to try one last time to stop you, to contain what they've created. They'll bring out their old weapons, their mockery, their exclusion, their attempts to make you doubt yourself. But those weapons don't work anymore, do they? You've built an armor out of their insults, fashioned a shield from their rejection. Every arrow they shoot now just adds to your arsenal. Let them come with their armies of doubt and their weapons of shame. You're not the same person they thought they could break. You've become something else entirely. A force of nature wrapped in human skin, a nightmare dressed in daylight. Every step you take shakes their foundations. Every word you speak carries the weight of your transformation. You're not just their worst fear come to life. You're the proof that their power was always an illusion. The end game is approaching, and they can feel it in their bones. Watch how they gather their last defenses, how they try to rally their failing courage. But it's too late now, isn't it? The monster they created is fully awake, and there's no cage strong enough to hold you anymore. You've transcended every boundary they set, broken every chain they forged, shattered every mirror they held up to show you your supposed limitations. This is your moment of absolute clarity, the point where you finally understand that every attempt they made to destroy you was actually the universe conspiring to create something unprecedented. Something that doesn't play by their rules because you've learned to write your own. Something that doesn't fear their judgment because you've seen the truth behind their masks of power. Let them watch as you rise, not as the person they tried to destroy, but as the force they accidentally created. Let them witness the full magnitude of their mistake. They wanted to write you off as a cautionary tale, but instead, they turned you into a legend. Every story they tell about you now will carry a warning. Be careful who you try to break, because sometimes what rises from the ashes is more powerful than anything you could have imagined. This is more than a comeback. This is a revolution. Every step you take rewrites the rules they thought were set in stone. Every breath you draw defies the limits they tried to impose. You're not just surviving their game anymore. You're changing the entire playing field. And as you stand at the summit they said you'd never reach, looking down at their crumbling kingdoms, remember, you're not here for revenge. You're here to show them what real power looks like, the kind that can't be given or taken away, only forged in the fires of adversity and tempered by the strength of an unbreakable will. The darkness they tried to drown you in, it's become your crown now. The silence they tried to burden you with, it's become your war cry. You are their greatest creation and their worst nightmare. The unstoppable force they never saw coming. The immovable object they can't push aside. Let them remember this moment, when they finally understood that their greatest mistake wasn't trying to destroy you. It was giving you a reason to become unstoppable. Welcome to your reign. The throne they thought was forever out of your reach, it was always meant for you. Not because you were chosen, but because you chose yourself. Chose to rise, chose to fight, chose to become something beyond their limited imagination. This is your legacy, your empire, your truth. And they're just the footnotes in the story of your ascension.